Hello, I'm Emma of Granola Gear, and I'm so excited to be chatting with you again today. This time about something a little bit different. We're still talking about knits, but today we're not talking about hand knits. Because I've been thinking lately when I was trying to come up with some video ideas and what I wanted to talk about or do this week, and I was thinking, what is it when I watch other podcasters that I kind of wonder in the back of my head? And I think I came up with, I wonder what else they have in their wardrobe. Um, Whether that's like what kind of t-shirts they like to have, what kind of pants or whatever, like shoes. And we get that with some styling outfits and videos, but there's some like curiosity in the back of my mind about what they deem worthy when it comes to commercially made pieces. Because we all knit a little bit, we all sew a little bit, but we all also buy new things on occasion or secondhand things. And I just thought it would be a fun addition for me at least to look at not just my handmade pieces, but what I have for commercially made knits. Because I actually do have a stack. My selection has definitely reduced a lot since I got more into knitting and fiber. I gained more of an appreciation for things that are predominantly natural fibers, and so some of my synthetic pieces sort of made their way out of my wardrobe just because I'd rather use that space for something different. But I've got a pretty good sized stack still, and I thought it'd be fun to show you what I've deemed worthy, what I've deemed interesting enough to keep in my closet that is commercially made, especially as someone who unravels thrifted sweaters a lot for yarn. I feel like it's a little different too because I really use those sweaters for something usually. So what do I keep that I don't even unravel? Um, but yeah, let's get into it. I will preface this by saying none of these were purchased new. Every single one of them came from Goodwill or a thrift store. That's just generally how I shop. On occasion, it's different, but I gotta say, probably 95% of what I wear and about, I don't know, 90% of what I own is probably from the thrift store. And that's not a bad thing. It's just, it is who I am. So let us get into it. I'm going to start with, I don't have like specific categories for most of this, but I do have it split up a little bit. And the first group that I have is all cashmere. Just it's slowly, I've collected it over a handful of years. And I think the biggest reason for these is because cashmere is usually such a fine knit. And I think it is nicer to wear when it's a really fine fabric. And so that's not something that you can hand knit as easily, and it's usually pretty expensive. So the first piece I have is this Athleta. I also didn't steam all of these, sorry. There's a lot of them, it wasn't worth it. I have this Athleta 100% cashmere sweater. Might have a little bit of fuzz on it. I still need to depill these too. And this one is a really nice, like sweatshirt style piece. It's got that V in the front and this kind of ribbing down the sides and a big ribbed uh, what is this called? Sleeve edge. I don't know why I lost my brain on that for a second. I'll put up a little either picture or video of me trying on each of these. But this piece I feel like is really great for early fall when you just need a little something. It's so cozy, it's so light and perfect. And I mean, it's gorgeous. It's such a good color, and that's why I have it still. Um, this one is a vintage piece. And this is, what brand is this? Valerie Stevens 2-ply cashmere, 100% cashmere again. It's like this charcoal gray, very fuzzy. This is like a really nice blouse. Usually I wear this with pants or something like that, and it looks very professional for work. But yeah, love this piece. Next, we have one that I'm not really sure about. I picked it up at the end of the season last year. I brought it to the office once, but I didn't wear it because I ended up being too warm. But it's this kind of blazery cashmere sweater. It's Ann Taylor. It's probably hard to hold up like this. You'll see it better when I try it on. It just fits a little weird, which is why I'm not sure about it. It's a really nice color though. I just don't love the buttons. They're really long. The collar starts kind of high, and I don't love that they're covered with knit fabric. I've considered switching them with a different type of button. I just haven't decided if I care that much yet. So another 100% cashmere piece. And then I have another Talbots. It's always that kind of brand that has the 100% cashmere. J. Crew, Talbots. I don't know, Ann Taylor, Chico's, that kind of thing. This one is like a mock neck 3/4 sleeve. This one's kind of small on me. I think it's like the same size as the others. But I don't wear this as much because it's kind of a lot on my neck. I've just kept it. But of course, it's really soft, so it doesn't matter. It just gets hot because it's a little bit thicker than the others. It almost feels like it's felted, but it's not. It definitely goes to show you that like the thicker cashmere gets, just the hotter it gets. It's not like wool where it kind of regulates temperature. I feel like cashmere for me just really gets hot. But this is a nice piece. Another like blousey work piece. I mean, cashmere really for me is like office wear, generally speaking. This guy is another one that I picked up at the end of the season. I haven't worn yet, and there's a small chance I might unravel it depending on how it goes. This one is Central Park West Cashmere. All of these are 100% cashmere, and it's this all over ribbed piece, which is kind of cool. The sleeves are just really, really long, and then they also have this cuff thing at the bottom. It's a really pretty color though, and it's a thick enough yarn that I could unravel it and potentially use, or at least hold with something and use, but we will see. Then we have another piece. This one, actually, I'll skip to this one first. This is my last 100% cashmere piece. This one's Neiman Marcus. This really bright red cardigan. I love a good cashmere cardigan. I have one that I've knit and I adore it. I wear it all the time. Perfect for like summertime when you need something light, but maybe really warm for the not the winter, for the nighttime or the evening or whatever. This one's just a nice little throw on piece. Some of these I don't wear all the time. They're just really good to have for certain circumstances, which that's kind of always the pain with that sort of thing. You think, oh, I just want to make more space and get rid of stuff. But you know that you're gonna wear it. You're just gonna wear it like once a year. And it's gonna be the perfect piece for that once a year. It's just only gonna be worn once. But yeah, this one's got like this little seam down the back, which I'm not like a huge fan of, but it's cashmere. Who cares? um, and then the last partially cashmere piece is this Talbot's shirt. It's 55% cashmere and 45% silk. And it's got this turtleneck. Is this the front or the back? That's the back. And it's like this big boxy t-shirt, which is kind of cool. I've worn this a few times, like in the springtime and like around this season when it's the fall. It's definitely still fuzzy from the cashmere, but like the silk has made it a little bit drapier and less warm. This is a larger size for me, so it fits me boxier, but it still fits me nicely. So that's cool. But I feel like the cashmere is the least interesting of these, but I will get into the rest of them now. That is all my cashmere. This one, I don't actually know what the fiber content is. It's definitely some proportion wool, but the tag is cut out with the fiber content. It just says where it's made. This one's Max & Co. I just love this color. I think this is, sorry, the bottom is messed up. I think this is such a beautiful blue. It's such a good color. The cables are so gorgeous. Another good office piece. And the back has this like saddle detail that I thought was so fun. I almost didn't buy this or didn't keep this long term, but I could not get over the saddle detail. And the color. The color is so good. And it's nice to have like a light cable piece so you can get that texture but without all the weight sometimes. Big fan, big fan. Next we have, I'll do this one. I've had this one for a long time now. This one's an LL Bean sweater. It is 100% merino wool. I don't know why I thought that it maybe had something else in it too. It's this nice cream ribbed sweater. This is such a classic. I've worn this so many times. It looks good every single fall. Like there's no opportunity where this doesn't look good in the cold weather season. It's so it's classic. I mean, you can't go wrong with this, but also I feel like when it comes to ribbing, it's hard because ribbing hand knit is usually pretty chunky. It's nice to get that texture and the width of the rib without the like chunky heaviness of that kind of sweater. This color is kind of not perfect. And it's such a big turtleneck too. I don't know, I adore this. It's so great tucked into a skirt or a pair of pants. Beautiful. We have one last piece that's a little blousey. This one is actually 55% acrylic and 45% cotton. This one's a mock neck. Another ribbed piece with a little bit of a cable detail in the middle. This one's kind of a greenish color. I'm not sure what color it'll show up on camera. But this is a good, just throwing it on in cooler weather, but it's not going to make you hot because it's got that cotton. It's a little bit acrylic, but it feels more cottony. It's a vintage piece. It is Worthington. I don't know. This is a cool little one. I've almost gotten rid of it a couple times, but at the end of the day, it's like pretty comfy to wear. I don't feel like I'm gonna get hot. It doesn't get overwhelming. It's kind of just like a long sleeve shirt, but I'd still consider it a sweater for the most part. That one's fun. I have two Eileen Fisher sweaters that I love. This first one looks like a hand knit, but it's not. I'm looking for the fiber. It's 81% alpaca, 19% nylon. Look at this guy. So it's like an inside out stockinette. The inside is stockinette looking, but really wide knit. What is the red on this? Oh no, I got something on it. I wore this not that long ago. Oh no, I'm gonna have to wash it. Yeah, that's really on there. Ah, you're witnessing this real time. This is great over a colored shirt. It gives the whole outfit some texture. It's super pretty. It's got a split hem, so it's got a slightly longer back. So it's less, I don't know, it's a good almost tunicky piece at times. Yeah, I love this one. It's nice and warm, but because it's holey, it doesn't get you too hot. So another good spring fall piece. The other Eileen Fisher one is kind of funky. Something about it I love. This one is 40%, 46% merino wool, 30% alpaca, 19% nylon, and 5% spandex. So this guy is stretchy. And it's this green piece. It's this big V-neck. It was kind of worn out when I thrifted it, and I had to patch some holes in the sleeves, but I love this over another shirt. It's so loose. It's a larger size, but the sleeves and the length still fit me perfectly. So I wouldn't wear this with nothing under it because it's such a big V-neck on me, but it looks really good with something underneath it, like even just a regular shirt. So it's a good layering piece. And this is such a fun color. And it's also this very textured, like almost boucle looking, because it's another reverse stockinette. You can't really tell. I don't know if you can tell on the inside that that's the stockinette, because with the alpaca and the spandex, it's so like fuzzy and scrunchy. But this is a really cool piece, and I like that it's got the green and the fuzz is like a little bit lighter, so you get some dimension to it too. Big fan of that one. Next we'll do, this one is a Woolrich sweater that I think is 100. That's should be 100% wool. Oh, it's got 15% nylon in it. I think that's what that says. 15% nylon, possibly says slash polyamide. I'm not sure. This one's vintage. It's got these very cool leather buttons that I love. And you'll notice this little red applique there because when I got it, it actually had some holes and stains in the back. I wasn't as much of a knitter then. I literally just sewed the holes, and it's fine. Like, it's such a fun sweater, and I think the little red applique just adds a little interest to it. I love layering with this piece in the wintertime. It's so heavy and dense and warm. And it's Woolrich. It's so classic. It looks good with everything. The gray and the blue is so pretty. I keep the sleeves cuffed because they're a little long for me. It's a very big medium. Great piece. I love this guy. So beautiful. I've had that for a number of years now. Next, we have one of my greatest thrifts of all time. I thrifted this last year, and it doesn't really fit me because it's huge, but it is too big for my husband, but he can wear it, and it looks more normal. This is a Dale of Norway 1994 Olympic sweater. I know. And I got it for $5.50. I saw this on the rack and I was like, you're coming home with me. I don't care what size it is. Oh my gosh, it's so gorgeous. Look at it. Look at how beautiful in all of its glory that it is. Oh, just literally. I had been considering knitting one of these and I just couldn't resist when I saw it. Obviously, like, what are you even going to say to that? I don't know how old this is. I'm assuming it's vintage, but I think they may sell newer versions. There's a little patch on the bottom. I don't know if you can see that. There you go. Let me look on the inside. Does it have another tag? What does it say? Just says 100% pure new wool. It does look like it's probably older. That's a tag, the official Olympic tag. Oh, it's so beautiful. Let's see on the bottom. Yep. It's a men's extra large, I think. So it is very big for me, but I mean, what are you gonna do? It's the 1994 Dale of Norway Olympic sweater. So that's dope. My last wool piece is another LL Bean one. This one is 80% lamb's wool, 10% mohair, and 10% nylon. This one's vintage. And this is such a cool color for a cardigan. I love a button-up cardigan. I love a collar, two of my favorite things. And this is such a pretty tweedy purple. Oh, this is a very rustic wool, which like it's definitely on the scratchier side. Like there's rustic that isn't that scratchy, and there's rustic that's kind of scratchy, and this is kind of scratchy. All the edges are this seed stitch texture, including the collar. I've thought about knitting something similar because I love it. And the pink buttons are love. This is so good with like another colored turtleneck underneath. Oh, it's a beautiful style. I love all the bright colors all at once. And now I'll end with two of my probably most worn sweaters that I've had for eternity. Not eternity, but one of them for a lot longer than the other. And neither of them are wool at all. The first one is, and this will look better when I take a video of me wearing it, is a Land's End cardigan that is, oh, it's made in the USA. That's cool. I'm pretty sure it's 100% cotton, but let me double check. Does it not say? Goodness gracious, it doesn't. Oh, yep, 100% cotton. It's yellow, which I know I have been preaching lately about not liking yellow that much, but this is the best summer cardigan. This one I would love to replicate. It's perfect over anything. You can wear it if you're worried you're going to be too cold, but it's never going to make you too hot. It's got a cute little collar. It feels like just perfect for anything. Like I wear this sweater constantly because why wouldn't I? It's perfection. There's like no notes. It's loose, it's comfy, it's apparently got crap on the elbow, and I don't care. I don't really care when something happens to my clothing. I'm going to keep wearing it because it's clothing. And that's just how I am. My last piece, when I saw this at the thrift store, it was like $3.50. And my mom was like, that's ugly when it was on the hanger. And I was like, no, it's not. It's beautiful. And it's just like my cozy couch cardigan that once again doesn't make me too hot. I'm looking for the tag. Oh, it's right here. Duh, Emma. This one is 100% acrylic. And I still love it. I still adore it. I think everyone's got like a seed stitch cardigan or a sweater that's like so comfy. And it almost has like a cottony feel. It doesn't really feel like an acrylic. I mean, if you look at it, it definitely looks like an acrylic, but it's just the perfect level of coziness. Not too warm, not too cold. Like you just feel all snuggled in it. Perfection. So those are all of my commercially made knits. I didn't put together any stats for this. I thought it would just be fun to do a little once over. As you can see, I definitely focus on trying to get natural fiber pieces. Though there's obviously like, what's the other word? Non-natural fibers, synthetic fibers in a lot of them, because that's just how commercially made pieces are. A lot of them are vintage or at least older because the quality of the clothing that we put out is just not as good as it used to be unless you want to spend a crazy amount of money. And even then, you may not get as nice of a piece. A lot of things like cashmere, I see it now at the thrift store, the much newer pieces from places like J. Crew are so thin. I'm like, how is anyone even wearing this? It's like you'd have to wear, I don't even know what you'd wear under it to make it not see-through. Like, I mean, thin cashmere is kind of the point, but it's like, it's thin to the point of cheap and obviously like trying to skimp on material. So this is like a good once over of pieces that I've declared to be worth it. And I'd love to see what other people have that they consider worth it. If you're a hand knitter or a crocheter or whatever, like how much do you have in your closet that's not handmade? I definitely have a lot because I have quite a bit of clothes, pretty much all secondhand. And I really try and assess what I consider to be really well made and made to last in my purchases because you've got to. Like, what's the point of buying it if you're not going to have it around for at least a handful of seasons? I like things to be classic and last beyond one trend cycle. But that's just me. If you enjoyed this, if you thought this was a fun little window into a hand knitter's closet, let me know. This just popped in my mind when I was pulling out my hand knits for the season. I thought it'd be fun. If you'd like to give me a like or a subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. I hope you have a great day and happy knitting.